Wow, I love that theme song. Welcome to week 4 of the This Week in Film podcast, the show where we discussed what movies we saw this week. Joining me, Nick Panotto, on the panel this week, as always, Tony LeBoy and Charlie Chester.
Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, you're very enthusiastic.
Yeah,
this week,
Tony is.
I just wanted to...
He loves to say hello.
Yeah.
Tony, tell us what you saw this week.
This week...
Greetings!
I spent 7 hours of my life, and I watched the Godfather epic, which, if you don't know about that one, is basically Godfather 1 and 2 cut in pretty much chronological order.
So they take all the flashbacks from 2 and put it before Godfather 1.
Right.
And then they roll from Godfather 1 and right into Godfather 2.
Right. So it's not as simple as that because they do have some deleted scenes. Particularly, there's one part where, spoiler alert, after Apollonia blows up in the car. No, Apollonia! I forget his name, but the one henchman, the henchman who blows up the car, there's a little storyline where Michael is actually looking for him throughout 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, that they did that. That
like
obviously
a
wasn't
deleted
in the
scene
first.
that
Yeah,
they pumped it?
Yeah,
Oh.
there's a couple deleted scenes, so
That's
that
awesome.
they add that little storyline in there.
And Charlie, you watched a short this week?
Yeah, it was called World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
16 minutes long. It's on Netflix right now. And it was not Oscar nominated. It was great. I mean, the animation is super simplistic. It's almost like hand drawn by like a non-artist. But the story
It's so complex, like that. It's very cool, like the juxtaposition of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Basic idea of the story is a young girl is visited by her future self, and you come to find that in the future, people are cloned, and then you're offered immortality if you have the money for it. So you keep cloning over and over again.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts of that short, Emily.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
She's got a name.
Emily, the little girl, all her dialogue is filmed while she was playing.
Do you like my car?
So it's just a little 2-year-old girl playing and drawing at home, and they inserted that into the movie, and they kind of made the movie around that dialogue. So it's definitely cute.
And it's cool. It's like this collage storytelling. It's fresh, and it feels natural. So I really dug it.
One of the things I saw this week was the documentary Electric Boogaloo, the wild story
Been on my list for a while.
of Canon Films. It's a Canon Films documentary. And if you're not aware of who Canon Films were.
Yeah.
If you're not aware of who Canon Films was, any 80s basically any 80s movie just starring Chuck Norris. Charles Bronson.
I know you. I never forget a face.
What the hell?
If it was terrible and for whatever reason was in the movie theaters, was
If you
probably,
loved it as a kid growing up.
or if you loved it as a... They say it in the movie. It's the definition of action schlock.
We're considered schlockmeisters.
It's schlock, but they sure do make a lot of it.
They took a concept and ran with it, and it's a great documentary if you're into those kinds of movies, which I am. I love them.
What I do is I just try to take my hat and I turn it around, and it's like a switch that goes on.
Tony, you saw another movie this week.
I did see another movie. I saw Inside Llewyn Davis, which is fantastic. Coen Brothers flick. Basically, it's about a down-and-out folk singer, couch surfing. He's pretty much homeless. He just makes his rounds around the city, and it's just 1 week in the life of Llewyn Davis. Anyway, who's next?
Oh, I'll go next.
All right.
So the other movie that I watched this week was Pixar's latest, A Good Dinosaur.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
Don't.
What?
Actually, you should watch it. It was awful. So the premise of the movie is the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs never does. Right? It just skips across the sky.
Okay.
Doesn't matter at all. This is what this movie looks like. The background, it's Pixar, so everything is CGI, and the backgrounds are unbelievable. I mean, you lose yourself looking at these
I
backgrounds.
see where you're going. Okay.
And the main characters are the worst looking animations you've ever seen.
Two different types of animation.
Absolutely.
Juxtaposition.
It looks like the Incredibles, the world of the Incredibles put on top of an IMAX documentary about here's Yellowstone. There's a great scene at the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie, every character goes from so far to the left, from so far to the right, like this.
Okay.
I mean, it's the father character goes from the main character of the movie. I forget his name, Arlo or something like that.
Hello, Arlo.
He is scared. He's a scaredy cat dinosaur. Like, he's afraid of the chickens that they have. They have chickens that they raise for eggs.
Okay.
And he's afraid of them, and the father's like, oh, he's just a boy. He'll grow into it, and he'll grow up. And then all of a sudden, the father goes, "You're not advancing fast enough."
You had a job to do. You gotta get over your fear, Arlo, or you won't survive out here.
Come with me. We're gonna work together on a project because something has been eating their corn, and you figure out real quick that it's a small human.
Yeah.
But the humans are essentially dogs or wolves. Anyway, so the father says, "We're gonna set up a trap." So they set up the thing where you pull the corn and then the net comes down on him. Everything.
Yeah.
And then the father goes, "All right, so when this net comes, I want you to take this," and he hands him a spiked club with his mouth because they don't have hands because they're dinosaurs. But he hands him a spiked club, and he says, "After you catch him, you crush his head."
Yeah.
Sounds like this movie's all over the place.
The movie sucked.
Well, and that concludes Nick's ruining a children's movie for the week.
Yeah.
So Charlie, you watched.
I also watched this week, and I have to say I was actually really embarrassed to admit this.
That is the new guest horn, welcoming our first guest into the podcast, Keith Seddon.
Hey, hi. This is like a real honor, guys.
Can we get the horn guy to play a theme song?
Yeah, I'm going to try and talk to him after the show.
Keith, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's very appropriate that you're here because I think you'll appreciate the movie that I watched this past week, which was Batman and Robin, Joel Schumacher, Chris O'Donnell, and I believe your favorite Batman?
It's George Clooney.
I freeze.
George Clooney.
Yeah, did you watch it on TBS?
No, and
It's a great film.
I'm going to have to say
Keith,
no.
I need you to chill out.
All right, everyone, chill.
Well, I don't understand it. I enjoy Batman and Robin, which is
my
good
God.
because that's what makes the movie awesome. I mean, it's lines like "chill out," and
Chill.
Keith, what makes George Clooney your favorite Batman, and why is it his nipples?
30 seconds.
Well,
Keith.
his nipples
Wrap it up.
are. The bat suit is quite impressive.
That batsuit is an arrow down to his crotch.
But
If you
that's
look
what
at
we're
it.
obviously looking at,
Right,
though.
okay.
I mean, it's George
Awesome.
Clooney.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about George Clooney being the best Batman. I just think he's the best Bruce Wayne.
All
And
right.
That's been Keith on Batman.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us, Keith.
Yeah, we're running really long this week. We all know Batman and Robin sucks. Maybe someone else will watch.
Please, come back.
There's one other thing I have to say. They gave him
Kill
a
his
bat
mic.
card. At one point, he takes out an Amex that says, never leave home without it. It says
cave,
Batman.
never
Yeah,
leave-
guess what? That's
never
called
leave the
making
cave.
money.
Who approved him for this card?
Never leave the cave without it.
He's a billionaire. That
They
no
do
one knows
background
about.
checks on people. It's just preposterous.
All right, so this has been week 4 of the This Week in Film podcast. It went real long. Charlie, Boy Zero, Comic-Con.
Yeah, my comic book is going to be coming out very soon. And Comic-Con, Cleveland, Ohio.
That's
Thanks
it.
for listening.
Thanks,
See
everyone.
you next week.
Greetings!
Goodbye.
Clown.